Here's a video I didn't think I'd have to make today, but this video is on the beauty of ball valve unions. Either way, so here's the reservoir from my waterfall modular RDWC for perpetual grow, the big system. Here's my reservoir for that system, and the reason it's sitting on my kitchen counter right now is because there was a freaking leak. And the worst place to get a leak is in the reservoir because everything's connected to it. If it was a module, I could just take the module out and throw in a new module real easy. But this is the reservoir, so it was leaking down here, and the worst part is it's leaking down here on the bottom bulkhead. So I was like, oh crap, you know, obviously I thought it was the JB plastic weld, but it turns out it wasn't where I plastic welded the sides here. That's where I guessed it was, but those things are just so solid, it's out of control. I went over them again with some more JB plastic weld, but what it was, and this leak happened, it's gotta be about 15 hours. It started about 15 hours after I filled the system with water is when the leak started. Maybe started about 14 hours because I didn't catch it right away, but either way, it was leaking out of this stupid PVC to the bulkhead connection here. So there was like a little slit I could see. There's basically a little crack there where you could see where it was basically where it could leak out. I basically inspected this with a magnifying glass almost. I didn't actually, but the point is I looked at everything around here, and this thing was just so sealed. There's nothing coming out of here. So, and then I basically found like I said, I found the little open little gap there in the PVC to the bulkhead welding, I guess is what you want to call it. But either way, and I guess, so the water was coming from the inside out, so I guess it took almost 15 hours for the water to kind of like seep its way and kind of work its way through the open area there and then start getting out there and making a path outside of the PVC pipe. That's my assumption. But either way, what I've done to correct this is I basically sanded it all down here and coated the whole ring out here with this JB plastic weld to seal the outside, but more importantly, I went inside to seal the inside where the PVC and the bulkhead meet. So I basically had to go in the inside ring there, the PVC and the bulkhead, and I went over everything with I went over the bulkhead where I'd already plastic welded, which isn't the problem, like I said, but yeah, so I went over I went inside there, inside the tube. I can't even get my phone on, but I went inside the tube, and I sealed every connection between the PVC and the bulkhead. And this is the important part, is down here inside inside the reservoir is the important part to seal, because that's where the water starts flowing in and kind of starts working its way through. So if I can seal the outside, well, inside the bulkhead, but if I can seal the outside where those two pieces meet, then the water can't get through at all. So this is the important side. The important part is the inside of the bulkhead PVC connection there. So I went in there and I used, like I said, JB plastic weld. Instead of using a stupid stick, I just put on a latex glove on my hand, and actually the latex glove broke while I was doing it. But either way, I just used my finger and made sure that they got a big gob of it all the way around the connection there and filled it in. But either way, so that's but the purpose of the video was, what I was talking about was the importance and the beauty of ball valve unions. So here's the importance and the beauty of it. When this thing started, when I found out this thing was leaking, instead of having to go get a trash can and do all kinds of crazy stuff, what I did was I kept the pump running. The pump was already running into all the buckets, and it was flowing back this way. So I basically just shut these ball valves on the side. Boom. So there's still water in all these. These have the water in them. So I shut the ball valves on each side, and I kept the pump running, blasting water out of the reservoir until it was empty. So basically, it took me to stop the leak and fix it, not fix it, but to stop the leak and isolate it and get all the water out of there. It took me literally under 30 seconds once I realized what happened and what I needed to do. So shut two ball valves and leave that pump running until it was sucking air. and that took really not much time because there wasn't a whole lot of water in there, and it was that pump is a beast. So once I did that, then I could just disconnect all these unions. That union were the important ones to keep the water from in the bins, and then this union, and then obviously the top connections here I had to disconnect as well, but those are secondary because the water flows down. But either way, this is just a quick video showing that this system had a freaking leak, and it wasn't anywhere I would have expected it to be. It was on the PVC to bulkhead connection, which is such a random, unexpected place. I guess I take my PVC connections for granted because I just assume that I put it on well, but that's the first one of those I've had where it's leaking out, like literally it's leaking out the PVC to bulkhead connection there, that was just, ugh. Either way, I take those for granted because I just assume they're not gonna leak. I'm always concentrating on bulkheads and unions, making sure those are tightened down, and the bulkheads. That's all I really worry about these days because that's the places I've had leaks before. But yeah, so this could be my first time I've ever had a PVC leak ever. So hopefully this will do the trick and fix it. Like I said, the key is the inside here with basically sealing the inside so that the water can't begin to get in between the PVC and the bulkhead and seep through. So sealing it out is the key, so it can't start working its way through. And obviously I did this side as well, but this isn't as important as the inside there, which is the very important part to keeping this crap inside there. But either way, that's what happened this morning. I was literally about to leave my house for about 5 hours, and this would have been it would have been a night. It would have been a catastrophe. It would have been really bad because there's at least, there's right around 40 gallons in the system right now, and I would say at least 39 of that would have been on the floor in here. Now when I came in here, I caught it. You can still see the concrete cinder block over here. The water was basically kind of slowly, gradually creeping this way, and it got over here to basically, it almost got to my tent. So I was just super lucky. I didn't have water in my tent and all kinds of pain like that, but the water was slowly, gradually creeping this way. It probably got to right about there, and I threw some towels on it and took care of everything. But yeah, it was that was not what I wanted to wake up to this morning. But either way, that's where I'm at. And I'll be back. It looks like I might not be able to get the, oh crud. I might not be able to get the plants in the system for this week's video, just because I want to let it cure a little longer. I want to put some pressure on it again and see if it'll leak again. But I will get that video out soon. Or sorry, I will get the plants in here soon, but I might not get them in here for this week's update, for the spider farmer update. But yeah, either way, this whole video is about unions. The more unions you have, the better. These things are expensive, but they're worth their money. 36 bucks for one of these stupid 2-inch Kaplan, it's Canadian, I forget the name of the Canadian something, but Kaplan Hydro Seal Canada, and then Kaplan is also the name. But either way, 36 bucks for one of those ball valves. So you can see there's, 150 bucks here and 150 bucks on this side, but actually more than that. But either way, there's a lot of money here in ball valves, but they're worth their weight in gold because they can prevent catastrophes. If I hadn't had these ball valves, I would have taken the pump and I would have had to empty a trash can that has nutrient water in it, and I had to take the pump and just pump water, the entire system water out of the system into the trash can, if I couldn't isolate the rest of the water in the other parts of the system. So these ball valves just saved me a ton of work and a ton of mess, and just simple. And it's also simple to take the thing out of here. That's why it's in here sitting on the kitchen counter, because I can take all those ball valves apart and then just pull it out here and work on it and fix it. But either way, that was the catastrophe this morning. Hopefully that won't happen again. I'll be letting this cure about another day and a half before I even put it back in the system to try again. But yeah, so yeah, I definitely won't be able to get the plants in the system this week. But either way, that's a little minor catastrophe averted at this point. And so everything's on hold now for a couple more days because of this. And I gotta restart the process of leak checking it. I saw somebody else talking about their leak check for 48 hours, which is apparently that's a good call, because that 15 hours or whatever it was, 12 hours, 15 hours till it started leaking was not enough. And I was, thank God I didn't leave the house. That would have been brutal. But either way, thanks for watching this video. Thanks for watching the last video if you watched that build video. And I'll be back soon with an update on the plants. And then after that, I'll be back with the plants getting in this thing. See you guys next time. Peace.